Hello, this is the Death Row and Executions channel, and my name is Paco. You can also follow me on Facebook for updates and more Death Row news. There will be a link to my Facebook in the description below. Also, check out my other channel here on YouTube called The Maximum Sentence, where I cover recent crimes and convictions. There will be a link for that as well. By the way, speaking of Facebook, if anyone out there was interested or closely following the cases of Christopher Sepulveda, who died on death row while scheduled for execution this year, or that of Rocky Myers, who was also scheduled to be executed this year, but his death sentence was commuted by the governor to life in prison without parole, you can see my video presentation on those cases only on my Facebook. With regard to Rocky Myers, I am especially hoping to see in comments on Facebook after watching the video if you still believe he is innocent or guilty of the murder that got him sentenced to death. I also want to mention how great all you guys have been with suggestions and help provided in your comments here on YouTube over the years. A few weeks ago, the video of Jesse Hoffman appeared on this channel. Now, during the video, I informed everyone that I had searched the internet up and down and I was unable to locate a mugshot or photo of Jesse Hoffman. I also said that major media sources will probably post pictures of him after I have made the video as we get closer to his execution date. And that is exactly what happened. I saw those pictures right away when they appeared in news reports and on social media. And then I had about 200 comments on that video telling me, "What are you talking about? I just went on Google and in a few seconds I found his picture." Trust me, the photos of Jesse Hoffman weren't there when I made the video, but I really do appreciate you guys looking out for me. In April of the year 2000, 49-year-old Janet Acosta was living in Miami, Florida, and working as a production supervisor for the Miami Herald newspaper. On April 25th of that year, Janet took a lunch break from work and went to her van in the parking lot and then drove to the Japanese Garden on Watson Island in Miami, which is just a few minutes drive from the Herald building, to have her lunch there. And she also enjoyed reading after lunch while seated in the car in this beautiful scenic area. That's when she encountered a 23-year-old man who was later referred to as a drifter and had fled from the state of Massachusetts when he was wanted for questioning in a murder in that state. That man's name is Michael Anthony Tanzi. Armed with a razor blade, Tanzi subdued Janet. He bound and gagged her using items that he found in her van, and then began to drive to the Florida Keys. We later learned that he was headed to the end of the Keys, the city of Key West, a trip that would take about 2.5 to 3 hours. Along the way, Tanzi used Janet's debit cards to get money from ATM machines. And at one point, he also removed the gag from her mouth and forced Janet to perform an indecent act on him. And sometime later, Tanzi pulled along the side of the road upon reaching Cudjoe Key, which is just 20 miles before arriving in Key West, where he was headed. And once there in Cudjoe Key, Tanzi strangled Janet Acosta and left her in a marshy area by the Gulf waters. When Janet's co-workers at the Herald building realized that Janet had not returned to work, they immediately felt that something very bad has happened to her. Either she was in a car wreck and unable to communicate, or something worse has happened. Eventually, friends of Janet contacted police and reported her missing. A bolo, be on the lookout, for Janet's van had been issued throughout the state. And 2 days later, Michael Tanzi, who was visiting friends in Key West, was still driving around in Janet's van, and police in Key West spotted the van. Michael Tanzi was arrested, and he immediately confessed to everything that he had done. And he led authorities to where he had disposed of Janet's body. He then also confessed to killing a woman in Brockton, Massachusetts the year before, in 1999, while she was working at a laundromat. A 36-year-old woman named Caroline Holder, who he said he had strangled and stabbed. Meanwhile, over the years, prosecutors in the state of Massachusetts wrapped up the evidence collected and formally charged Michael Tanzi with the murder of Caroline Holder from the city of Brockton. As I said, Tanzi had confessed to that murder as well. However, Massachusetts halted taking the case to trial since by this time, Tanzi was already sentenced to death in Florida and sitting on death row. This will be the third execution in Florida this year. According to reports, Michael Anthony Tanzi had cried when the judge issued the death sentence. Please remember to hit the subscribe button for more death row and upcoming execution stories so that you're alerted when the next video comes out. You can also follow me on Facebook for updates. There will be a link to my Facebook in the description below. My name is Paco Rivera. Take care and bye for now.